it's time for story time. Let's sing our song. Oh, I want to read with somebody. I want to read a book with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Okay, before we start reading, I want who can tell me what you know about the book? On the front cover of the book, there's lots of information, like the name of the story. What's that? The title. Let's sing our song. The title is the name. The title is the name. Every book has a name. The title is the name. What else is on the front cover? Who writes the words? It's the author. Author writes the words. And what else? How about the illustrator? What does the illustrator do? Draws the pictures. Illustrator draws the pictures. Good job, friends. Inside the book, there are pages, and on the pages are words and pictures. I can tell the words because words are made out of letters. Okay, we're going to read our story. Make sure that you are keeping your hands and feet to myself and sitting on your bottom. Everyone turn on your listening ears. Let's get started. The title of this story is A Log's Life. The author is Wendy Pfeffer and the illustrator is Robin Brickman. Friends, on the cover of this story, I see different kinds of animals. I see a squirrel. I see a salamander. Inside the story, there are lots of animals too. And when we read this story today, we're going to think about all the kinds of animals that we read about. Deep in a forest, a great oak tree stands. A family of squirrels. Squirrels are an animal. I see the squirrels right here. A family of squirrels lives in a hole in its trunk. A porcupine chews on its branches. A porcupine is another kind of animal. There's the porcupine. A colony of carpenter ants nests under the outer bark. There are the ants. Ooh, this tree has lots of animals living in it. I see one more animal. What's another animal that you see? This bird right here. Let's keep reading and find out what kind of bird it is. A woodpecker. It's a woodpecker. A woodpecker pecks at the rough bark, searching for insects. He spears one, devours it, and hunts for more. Wood-boring beetles burrow under the bark. We know all about beetles. Yesterday we read a story about Voo. What kind of animal was Voo? Voo was a beetle. His story was called The Little Beetle. In this story, there are also beetles who live in the wood of the tree. There's one right there. Wood-boring beetles burrow under the bark, chewing wood and leaving tunnels. Water and rain seep into the tunnels. Toadstools and other fungi, such as mildew, molds, and mushrooms, sprout in these damp places. Slugs and snails, ooh, I see the slugs. Another kind of animal. Slugs and snails crawl up the tree trunk into the tunnels and eat the fungi. One stormy day, a strong wind whips through the forest. We learned about wind when we were talking about different kinds of weather in our learning lab. Wind is when the weather goes like this. Can everybody make some wind for me? Good job. Okay, let's keep reading our story. The old oak tree bends with every gust. Oh, it is strong wind. It is blowing the tree. Rain pelts its branches. Oh, it's raining. Wind tosses its leaves through the air. Lightning flashes and sizzles down its trunk. A thunderous crack startles the porcupine sleeping nearby. The tall oak begins to topple. Friends, can you say topple? Let's clap that word. Topple. Let's count it. Topple. To topple means to fall over. the big tree is falling down. Wow, what's going to happen next? The tall oak begins to topple. Squirrels feel the trembling and scramble out of their hole. One strong gust of blustery wind tears the great oak's roots from the ground. The tree crashes down, shaking the forest floor. Branches break, limbs splinter, leaves scatter. Wow, the big tree fell down. Now it is a giant log. Friends, let's blend that word. Arms out. Log. Log. A log is a tree that fell down and now it's on the ground. Soon the storm stops and the sun comes out. An umbrella of leaves and tangled branches block the sunshine from the forest floor. The porcupine, that's one of our animal friends. The porcupine comes out of its den. Squirrels, where are our squirrels? Do you see the squirrels? There's a squirrel. Squirrels scamper to see the old hole that was once their home. Under the log, ants rush about. That's another kind of animal. See the ants? There's lots of them. Ants rush about carrying white bundles of babies. A spider crawls through cracks and crevices, searching for a dry spot to place her egg sac. Millipedes. Millipedes look a little bit like caterpillars. We know all about caterpillars. So in this log, there's lots of bugs, aren't there? There are ants, there are spiders, there are caterpillars. There are millipedes. Millipedes settle between the log and the wet ground. For now, they are safe from the spider. Termites soon discover the fallen log and move in. They not only eat the rotting wood, they lay their eggs there too. For 3 or 4 years, through hot, cold, wet, and dry seasons, ants, beetles, fungi, slugs, snails, spiders, millipedes, and termites live in the log. So many kinds of animals, lots of different bugs and insects are living in this log. One winter, the porcupine's hollow log collapses. He moves into the oak log too. Here comes a porcupine to live with all the bugs. In the spring, click beetles snap and click their bodies and flip high in the air before settling in the log. Salamanders, frightened by the noise and sudden movements, dart under the log for safety and stay. Now some salamanders and some beetles live in the log too. In the summer, pillbugs and slugs crawl inside the cool, moist log to keep from drying out. Pillbugs eat dead leaves. Salamanders eat the pillbugs. Slugs slip out at night and eat almost anything. The old log provides both food and shelter for the millipedes. They eat decaying plants and trees. But spiders eat the millipedes. Several more years of the hot, cold, wet, and dry seasons pass. Time, weather, and chewing, pecking, boring, and tunneling of many animals and insects makes the inside of the log spongy. The outer bark becomes soft and damp, and gradually it falls to the ground. The log is falling apart. I wonder what will happen to the animals who live in the log. Wood-boring insects have no wood to bore. They find another log. They go move to a different log. The woodpecker, that's the bird, the woodpecker hunts for other trees to peck. Spiders spin their webs in drier spots, and the porcupine moves to a new solid log. Friends, the log is falling apart and the animals are moving out of the log. They are finding different logs to live in. I wonder what will happen to this log. Let's keep reading to find out. Slowly, a lush green blanket of moss carpets the rotting log. Friends, can you say rotting? Let's clap that word. Rotting. Let's count it. Rotting. Rotting is to decay or to fall apart when it gets old. So our log first it was a tree, and then it fell down, and it has been down on the ground for a long, long time, and now it is starting to rot or fall apart. It's getting older. I wonder what will happen to the log when it rots. Its thick roots break down the wood. Over the next few years, the log crumbles. The log crumbles and falls apart. What is left looks like dirt. It feels like dirt. It smells like dirt. It is dirt. The tree turned into dirt. Earthworms move in. That's another kind of animal. Now there are worms living in the dirt that used to be our tree. The earthworms turn the soil over just as a shovel does. They burrow down and break up the soil just as a rake does. In about 10 years, the rotting log has become a mound of rich black earth. That is a long time. Friends, how old are you? I know most of my friends are 3 years old or 4 years old. This tree has been on the ground for 10 years. That's a big number. Can we count to 10 together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This tree has been a log for 10 years. That is older than you. And after 10 years, what did it turn into? It turned into dirt. One autumn day, an acorn falls from a nearby oak tree. A squirrel buries it in the rich soil. A seedling oak sprouts and grows and grows. It's a little plant. It is growing in the dirt. It grows until one day, deep in the forest, another great oak tree stands. Friends, do you remember at the beginning of our story? It was a big, big oak tree. And then the oak tree fell down in the storm and it turned into a log. And then the log decayed and rotted and it turned into dirt. And then an acorn grew in the dirt and it grew into another oak tree. Squirrels move in. So do carpenter ants, beetles, and woodpeckers. The ants build nests. The beetles burrow. The woodpeckers peck. For years, life goes on in the oak tree. Then one night, the wind whistles through the trees. The old oak bends and shakes. There is another storm, and this tree is bending in the wind. What do you think is going to happen to it? Should we make a prediction? Friends, remember, a prediction is a guess about what happens next. The last time that our tree was bending in the wind, there was a big storm, and what happened to the tree? It toppled, or it fell over. Now there is another tree and another storm. I predict that this tree is going to fall over too. Let's keep reading to find out what happens. The old oak tree bends and snaps. It crashes to the forest floor. Our prediction came true. This oak tree fell down and becomes another giant log. When this tree falls down, it will turn into a log, just like the first tree did. And then remember, friends, the log will begin to decay and it will turn into dirt. And then maybe another tree will grow in the dirt. And it goes on and on. That's the life cycle of an oak tree. Use your brains. We're learning about life cycles today. The end. If you like my book, clap once. If you like my book, clap twice. 3, 2, 1. That book was fun.